I want to do like a little bitty deep dive real quick on Hellblade 2, because this is a game I'm personally excited for. I loved the first game, and yet there's something off. There's very little promotion going on. They're not really advertising Hellblade very much, if at all. I mean, everybody in chat, while I go through this, tell me in chat if you've seen any ads. Are they running ads yet for Hellblade where you are? Because I have not seen much of anything. It's weird. It's very, very weird. Because you'd think with this game like a week and a half away, it's the 8th today, and I think it launches the 21st. So, you know, we're like, we can have 2 weeks out. And you would think that they would start pushing it, but they haven't yet. Yeah, not a single ad, but I guess I'm not the target. Well, with a lot of these games, like Starfield was freaking everywhere. And I understand that this probably is not on the level of hype as Starfield. Not probably, it definitely isn't. But I would argue maybe it's not because there's no marketing going on for it. But I feel like Starfield, you saw it everywhere. Like when Microsoft and Xbox wants to push a game, you will hear about it. It will be everywhere. But they've done nothing, not even just a little. They've done nothing for Hellblade other than like the occasional post on X or something. And so that for me is just like initially odd. I'm just confused why we're hearing basically nothing about it. So that's already a little strange. Because instead of trying to boost interest in it, it seems like they're just kind of sitting down like, okay, well, oh well. And that's it. Maybe, I mean, I saw one person in one of our comment sections say they thought they weren't marketing it because they thought that it could potentially be negatively impacted by the news of these layoffs. And so instead they were waiting till after the blowback from the layoffs dies down and then they'll start marketing it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't think anything will change that much if they start marketing it like a week before. I still think that there should be some promotion or something. Jor Raptor on our podcast pointed out, he said that, yeah, of course there's no more trailers or anything. The game's so short. If they show you anything more, they're just spoiling everything at that point. Like there's just not much content, which is technically true. I mean, the game is, they said roughly the same length as the original. And if you never played the original, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice was roughly 7.5 hours with side content, about 8 hours. So if you say it's between 7 and 8 hours, and it's been in development since 2017, we're saying about an hour for each year it's been developed. Now, I'm sure it's going to be very cinematic. It's going to be visually breathtaking. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of amazing stuff about it. But at this point, we've maybe gotten 20, 30 minutes of footage. So like they've straight up shown a solid chunk of the game. So I could understand why maybe they don't want to reveal too much, but it's still strange that we've heard basically nothing about it. How much is the game worth? They're going to be charging $50, but it will be on Game Pass as well. So it's going to be $50, which 5, 6, 7 years ago would have been about $40 adjusted for inflation. So you imagine like the same style of game that like the Lost Legacy was. That's basically what it seems this is in terms of scale. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just too short and they don't want to spoil anything. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But in addition to this, there was also the revelation that a guy that is very influential within the team, Tamim Antoniadis, he left the studio. Now, how they found this out was a little bit weird, because what happened was that they had this event where it was like a preview event. They invited people to come and try it and play the game. And while they were there, there were some people that noticed. I think it was Polygon individuals. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who noticed it first, but basically they were at the event and they noticed that Tamim was not there. And normally at these big preview events, a lot of the members of the staff and the teams are there. And so it was strange he wasn't there. And somebody just made an offhand comment, where's Tamim? He's like, as far as we know, like one of the directors of the game, if not the director. Where is he? And then they just casually mentioned, oh yeah, no, he left the studio. What? A little weird. Could just be a retirement. Could just be that he got a big fat paycheck when he sold the studio to Microsoft, whatever. It could be that. Still a little strange that they didn't communicate it, because normally when somebody that like is a co-founder leaves a studio, you get a press release, you get the kind of nod and the salute from the rest of the devs. We saw that with like Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker. When they left the studio, there were all sorts of articles written, about it because they issued a press release and they communicated that well ahead of time. Game Informer even did an article on it because they did this huge post and press release and all sorts of stuff. So normally there's communication about it, but in this case there was just nothing. I tried digging around for him and to see what he was up to, because I was like, maybe he left on bad terms. Maybe that's why they didn't communicate it, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. It just seems like he straight up got kind of bored and had more money than he needed and just decided to leave. They did clarify that, as Xbox says, or Microsoft says, Tamim was involved in the early stages of development on Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and after a period of transition to the Senua Saga's leadership team, he has moved on from being an employee of Ninja Theory. So it seems like he decided he was going to leave, help transition them to a new team of leadership, and then moved on. Now, he does have an Instagram account, and on the Instagram account, he posts just various things. A lot of it is him like partying. So like, it's just him partying. This drives me crazy. Instagram, man. But it's just him traveling the world, taking photos in various places, looking like a pirate, partying with a bunch of girls. So it kind of seems like he probably just got a fat stack and was like, you know what? I'm going to go Jack Sparrow it up and just live the rest of my life rocking and rolling with a bunch of girls on a boat, which more power to you. More power to you. I mean, if I got a $30-40 million payday and I was like, okay, I can keep grinding in an office, or I could just go party all the time. Maybe just go do that. Like, can you really blame him? So I put less weight in this being part of some broader conspiracy of he saw the writing on the wall and he knows the game's going to be bad, so he got out before it went bad. I don't think that's what it is. I think he just got a fat stack and decided to go and live his best life, which more power to him. I mean, that's great. I hope that the team that's there now is able to kind of fulfill the broader vision, and they probably can. I'm sure the game's been left in very, very capable hands, but still, just like there's just something off. There's just something weird about it. Other things that they've said where, like, for example, they talked in one of the preview things. So let me see, Hellblade 2 gameplay. In this, they describe how the combat system's been totally reworked and is totally different. And then they just show the gameplay and it looks identical to the first game, except maybe it's just more one-on-one now instead of with groups and stuff. I don't know. There's something about it that is just making my skeptical hippo eyes go, I hope it's great, but there's just something about it. And my gut is rarely wrong, as you guys know. I've called many of the bigger flops and lackluster releases in the last few years, and my gut is rarely wrong. Sometimes it's wrong. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but usually when my red flags are waving, there's a reason for it. So we'll see. My gut is telling me that this game is much more similar to the first game than they are letting on. They're acting like it's some sort of big leap. And my guess is it's going to be very visually impressive 1.5 version of the first game. I think it's going to have the same kind of visual puzzles. It's going to be a walking simulator the same way. The combat's going to be really frustrating. I think it's going to be just more of that. Still could be worth playing, still a great get for Game Pass, but I think that they might be overselling how big of a jump it is.
We're aiming for a controversial 7 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good graphics don't make a good game. When will they learn? Well, it can make for a very cinematic experience, right? A cinematic experience. And I think that there are people, and I'm one of them, I like cinematic experiences. I love the Order 1886, even though it is objectively, as a video game, not great. I still love me some Order 1886. I still love it. And so, but my review will reflect it. When I went back and I tried the Order 1886 again, I let you guys know this is not for everybody. It's one of those games, if you see the gameplay or the trailers and you're like, well, that just looks cool. Yeah, try it. Try it for $10. You'll have a good time. But if you're looking at it and you're like, okay, but where's the progression? What's the combat system like? I'm like, you are asking the wrong questions for this game. I'll tell you what. So, but that's the thing. Like, not every game should be made for everybody. That's how you get like the EA, Ubisoft generic type of open world game that is just lackluster in most regards. So I'd rather them specialize and do something really, really cool, you know, that's not for everybody. Hellblade is more cutscene whaling sim than all the Sony games Xbox claim are. Oh, walking. I think you mean walking. Yeah, like The Last of Us, people try to say that that's a walking sim. Maybe the first one you could sort of say that, but even that game had some really robust gameplay, or fairly robust gameplay. The Last of Us Part 2, I still insist, and I will argue till the day I die, The Last of Us Part 2 mechanically is extremely impressive. And I just, in terms of stealth gameplay, it's very, very good. The AI is freakishly good too. There's a lot about it that's really good. But all of this to say, I think we are in an interesting spot with Hellblade. I am looking forward to playing the game, but there's something weird about it. He took my thing.